Swear to me, you will do everything you have to do to protect our baby.
I promise. This right here is what it's all about. Family.
Oh yeah, what's going on, fam? It's your man, VACAY-J, and yes, I'm back with another video. Today, we are going to be covering episode 2 of Snowfall. Season 5 just dropped. And yes, if you're new and you're loving Snowfall, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely like, comment below, definitely hit that notification bell, and share any thoughts and any theories that you may have as well. So yes, just dropped episode 1. This is episode 2, and we're about to break down this episode right about now. So the name of this episode is Commitment, and we see your boy Teddy, and he's in the bar, and he's talking to a guy named Havmeyer, right? And this guy, he's connected to one of the government agencies, and he's talking about how Teddy's talking about how he was on vacation at a resort. Really, he wasn't. You know, he was in another country, and he knows all about that country. And, you know, the guy's like, listen, I don't believe that you was on a resort. You know, Teddy was definitely out there in the woods, in another country, definitely doing some recon and doing some work. But he admits that, you know, he needed a break, he needed to get a breather and everything else like that. And he's letting him know, Havmeyer know, that he's not with the CIA anymore, and he has some information. Teddy knows about the 7 American hostages that are being held in Tehran. And being that Teddy spent some time out there, he definitely can find out what's going on out there and how to get the hostages out of there, right? So he's like, don't you want to spend a better time, you know, with your wife and your kid? Like, what's going on with Julia and Paul? And it looks like Teddy has been spying on them and making sure they're good. And he's like, nah, they're fine. Everything's fine. I'm now ready to serve my country again. You know, so he's clean. He's, you know, definitely ready to get back in the saddle. He's like, listen, I'm at the Intercontinental. Let me know what you want to do because I'm ready to get back on board, right? So Teddy goes to see Avi. And he goes to see Avi because, you know, he told Avi to find out some information on these hostages and everything. Avi paid, you know, the guards, and the guards kind of screwed him over, didn't give him any information. Now he's trying to get information from this guy as well. So it looks like all these other countries, you know, they're doing things and they're not giving up information on the hostages or to help America out at all, right? So Avi's just letting them know what's going on. He's going to get back to doing what he does best, which is, you know, handling other people in discussions as per this clip, right? So Teddy goes back to Havmeyer and he lets him know, hey, listen, you know, all the countries are pretty much screwing over America. They're getting paid, but we're not. And he's like, yeah, I want to find out what's going on, but, you know, I can get more information, but I want to know what's really going on with LA because possibly there's something wrong with LA, right? And Havmeyer's not really trying to give him information, but he tells Teddy that, yeah, possibly something is going wrong in LA, and they need to find out exactly what's going on as far as their LA operation. So Teddy definitely wants to do more research on this himself. He's willing to put himself out there. And the guy's like, I see what you're doing. You want to get into my good graces and everything else like that. But he's, you know, Teddy's like, listen, I'm on board and I'm ready to work. He's ready to get in. He's ready to make it happen. So your boy Teddy goes undercover, right? Puts a beard on and puts like a fake wig on, ponytail, and he's taking pictures of this guy's house. And this is the same guy that Franklin went to go see, and his name is Grady. We're going to call him Shady Grady, right? Because this guy, he's doing a lot of things that he should not be doing to get the big house, to get the cars and everything, right? So if you remember from last episode, yeah, Teddy went in there disguised as a water and power guy checking the meters. And he also saw a young lady there with him as well. So he's been taking pictures all this time. And he's looking at the picture. He's in the truck looking at the pictures. And he finds out that Franklin and his lady bodyguards have been at the house. And yes, if Franklin's there, they're definitely doing some business. So Teddy is definitely finding out a whole lot as far as what's going on. The lady in the picture standing next to him, one of his guards, actually was the lady that was staying at the house with Shady Grady. So Shady Grady's messing around with Franklin's guard. Now we see Franklin looking at the newspaper talking about the North Hollywood shooter still at large, but he's not because Rob took him out and Franklin took out Rob, so that's over. Now we see Shady Grady, and he rolls up to the hangar where Franklin is, where his airplanes are, just to make his deal, just to make the deal happen. And they're talking, and Franklin's like, hey, listen, did we correct that price? Is the price good? I need to make sure everything is straight, and, Shady Grady's like, yeah, it's all good. Like, we can keep the price, where it is or move it to where you want it to be under one condition. And he's like, what's that? What? And he's looking at, the girls and them just do the exchange or whatever. And yeah, he's like, he's looking at the plane. He's like, oh, you want my plane? It's like, yeah. He's like, what? It's like, nah, I don't want your plane, man. I just want you to take me up for a joyride. He's like, that's it? Yeah, all right, we can make that happen, right? So Shady Grady wants to go up in the plane with your boy Franklin. All right, so Franklin takes Shady Grady up in his plane, and they're flying high. They're having a good time. Come to find out, yeah, your boy Franklin, he has his pilot's license. So that's how he's able to, fly planes and everything. So Shady Grady is really just like trying to get to know Franklin and everything, asking him questions about his lady and everything. And is he going to have like, a little Franklin one day? He's like, yeah, all of that is good. So now Teddy goes back to Havmeyer. He's like, hey, listen, I found out that Grady's being messy. He's actually, laundering some of the money that he's given to his clients, somewhere in the ballpark of 7 figures. And he's really skimming off the top. So he's getting messy and everything else like that. And Havmeyer's like, listen, take care of him. This, that, and the third. Is the asset going to be okay? Meaning Franklin. He's like, yeah, he's going to be fine. Even though he's like, yeah, well, what you did to his father, is he still going to be fine with that? He's like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. So we know that, yeah, Teddy took out Alton, which is Franklin's father, right? Okay, so now, shoot back, we see Franklin and his new love interest. And this is the first episode that we actually are going to find out exactly her name, right? So her name is Veronique, and this is Franklin's love interest. And what she's doing is she's mapping out and scheduling out everything as far as their lives. She's really into chakras and into energy. So she has a color-coded, connection with the schedules, but she is super intelligent because she's like, yeah, this is when the 501c and the trust is due, and when we got to sign this, and when we got to sign this for the building. Like, she is on top of her business. She is highly intelligent, and she absolutely is an asset to Franklin. So not only is, she having his baby, at the same time, he wants to make sure she gets part ownership of everything. And she's like, thank you. And he's like, no, just thank the universe, right? So, Franklin definitely seems to be in love with a good woman. Like, she is a really good woman. So now we shoot over to the bar where we have Aunt Lou, Jerome, Peaches, right? And we have Franklin and Veronique. And they're talking about the opportunity to invest in a building, in a commercial building, right? They're saying how, Panama is a great way for them to actually set up an account or whatever, a shell account, in order for them to take their money, put it in, and to put up $10 million in order to buy this commercial building. Then they'll be getting commercial rental income. And she's breaking everything down. This young lady is super intelligent, breaking it down with Franklin. And, Jerome's like, that's most of our money, $10 million. So she's going over all the great benefits of them investing together to have a legitimate business to get out of the game and get that commercial rental income, which will be a great thing, right? And of course, Jerome's like, how long is it going to take for us to get our money back? He's like, 3 years. And he's like, 3 years? Like, yeah, this is a long-term investment, but it's a great investment for us to really get out of the game and set up, some generational wealth. So she's like, yeah, all the reports are there, the projections are there, and, everything, and comparing other commercial properties to to this one that they're about to invest in. I mean, she definitely is breaking it down. Highly intelligent. She is a great asset for Franklin and the family, right? So, you know, she's like, she got to get back to the office. So Veronique is her name, and she goes back to the office. So Franklin sits down. He's like, yeah, you know, Aunt Louie's like, hey, what happened to Rob and his friend? And Franklin's like, well, I had to take care of that, and Rob is out. And they're like, out? What do you mean by out? He's like, well, Rob is out. You know, he definitely was on the pipe. And yeah, he started talking too much, saying things he shouldn't have said. So, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm sure that was hard. So now we see Teddy and your boy Gustavo, right? So Teddy visits Gustavo. He's like, what do you want? He's like, listen, man, I'm getting back into doing what I'm doing. And I just need to let you know that, you know, Grady is shady and he's messy. And I need to know that you're on board with me, you know, because I'm about to get back in. And this, that, and the third. He's like, oh, you back with the CIA? He's like, he didn't answer him. But, of course, Gustavo's going to be rocking with him because he's been rocking with him since day one. But, you know, he really liked Grady, right? He says, Grady's more fun than you, Teddy. He's like, I'm fun. He's like, nah, you're not fun. You're not fun at all, right? So it is what it is. So now we see Aunt Louie and Jerome, and they are connected with Avi, you know, and Avi is introducing them to some weaponry and introducing them to the Uzi family, right? This is, again, 1986, saying that the strap doesn't jam. And they like what they see. And he's looking at them like, I'm proud of you guys. You know, you guys like Bonnie and Clyde and everything. And Jerome's like, that didn't end well. He's like, you know what I mean? Just the fact that you guys got each other. You know, so Avi's having a moment with Aunt Louie and Jerome. It's all good, right? So they get in the truck. They're loading up the truck. And she's like, are you happy? He's like, yeah, you know, I'm happy. You know, I got you in that skirt over there, you know. And it's like, and the Raiders are in L.A. Again, this is 1986, right? He's like, yeah, I'm rich and all of that. We're good. And she's like, you are king amongst men. So we see now a yellow bus with some kids getting off and Leon's getting off. Looks like Leon, what he's been doing for the past couple of weeks, every couple of weeks, is taking the kids from the neighborhood and taking them to different places, you know, just to kind of expand their mind, right? So Franklin sees that. He went to go talk to Leon, and he's like, yeah, remember when we went to the beach for the first time? And Leon's like, yeah, that's the first time I ever saw the beach and the water and everything else like that, right? So it's all good. They're still cool. They go back to Leon's apartment, and of course, Franklin's trying to put him on to, you know, this legitimate business, commercial property that he's talking about doing that's going to be downtown, right? And he's like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to invest in that, you know, a property that, you know, they're trying to keep black people out of and all this and that. So Franklin's like, all right, cool. So Leon's like, yeah, I heard you had to take Rob out and everything. He's like, yeah, man, you know, he was on the pipe. And Leon's like, well, he could have recovered. It's like, nah, he was just talking too much. He was saying stuff he shouldn't have said, and he would have messed up the business. So Leon's just sitting there like, dang, okay. So Franklin shares the good news. He's like, hey, you know, Veronique, she's pregnant, man. She's about 6 weeks. He's like, word, wow. He's like, yeah, and that's why I got to keep this tight, like super tight. Can't mess around, you know, because now I got a baby on the way. I'm going to be a daddy. And, you know, Leon's like, he's just sitting there like I hear you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel what you're saying. But he's like, hey, you about to be a daddy, man. He's like, yeah, I'm about to be a daddy. So he's proud as far as him being a daddy and making sure that the business is tight, letting Leon know. So now we shoot over to Shady Grady's house, and he's walking into his kitchen, and Teddy is there, and he's like, I absolutely appreciate your taste in wine, right? So he's like, what are you doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you in my house? He's like, yeah, you know, you've been real, like, messy, right? So Shady Grady knows who Teddy is. He's like, yeah, you've been real messy. And basically, you know, you've been skimming off the top, millions of dollars, and taking it from people's clients, taking it from the clients that you're supposed to be serving. All right, got the big house, the cars. He's like, yeah, your contract is up. So Shady Grady pulls out the strap, puts it on the table. He's like, nah, I don't think my contract is up. So they sit down and they talk. And he's like, listen, man, it's not happening. I know too much. And, you know, Teddy's just like, listen, man, I want you gone by tomorrow. You can keep the cars, but I want you gone by tomorrow. And he's like, wait a minute. Oh, you're the guy that took the fall and messed up with the CIA, right? And Teddy's not saying anything, but he's just telling them like, yo, you need to get out of here. You're being messy. He's like, yo, oh, so how did you come back? Or better yet, did they bring you back or did you come back voluntarily? So he starts to insult Teddy about his wife and about the kids, about this, that, and the third. And Teddy gets up like he about to do something, right? Like, he's like, you insulting Teddy like that? And he just walks out. He just walks out, right? Because you know Teddy's going to handle it a different way. So now we see Wanda, and Wanda, she basically quit her job. She was working for the 800 numbers, all right? Back then they had an 800 number that you could speak to a young lady or whatever, right? So she was part of that. They cut her short as far as her check, and she's like, yo, Leon, I need to get back in the game. I need to do something. He's like, nah, you too close. Like, you just recovered. It could be a temptation for you. And, I'm not having that. Like, you're going to have to figure something out because I'm not trying to put you back in this life that you got hooked on the product and it messed you up. So he's telling her, listen, you got to figure something else out. This ain't going to be it. I'm not trying to put you around this. So he obviously cares about her, but now she's going to figure out something else. So now we see Shady Grady. He's sitting there on his bed. He's drinking his little wine. He drops the cup on the floor. Okay, what's going on? Then Teddy falls to the ground, falls on the floor like he's choking and he's all this and that, and he cannot move. He's like, man, he look like he about to die, right? And guess who shows up? That's right. Teddy walks down the hallway. He's like, yo, your contract is up. I try to tell you, this is not personal. This is all business. You know what I mean? So I didn't do this to you because you insulted me at all. And guess what? Teddy leaves. Shady Grady is now gone. We won't see you in the next episode. Peace. So now there's a ring at Franklin's door, and he thinks it's Veronique, but it's not. It's somebody else at the door. Guess who it is? That's right. Teddy is at Franklin's door. How does Teddy know where Franklin lives? You already know. Teddy does his research. He knows how to find out information. So he invites him inside, and Teddy's looking around. He's like, oh, this is a very nice place. So you're doing very well for yourself, right? Franklin is shocked to see him because, last time he said he's going to be gone for a while. And yeah, now he's back. So, Franklin's like, what's going on? How long you been back? What's going on with you? Da-da-da-da. And Teddy is just walking around. It's like, yo, you've done very well for yourself. You're up in this high-class place and everything. You're doing real well, with everything that I've helped you with, right? Overlooking LA and everything else like that. So he's trying to offer him something or whatever, but, Teddy's not trying to hear that. Teddy's just like, he went there to handle the asset. They consider Franklin the asset. He's like, listen, yeah, I know you like Grady and all of that, but yeah, you're not going to be working with Grady anymore, basically. And Grady was good, but now he is messy. And Franklin's like, why are you talking about Grady as far as past tense? It's obvious, right, Franklin? Right? So your boy Teddy's just like, yeah, man, he was doing some scamming and scheming and everything else like that, screwing a lot of things over, messing up business. So his contract got canceled. And yeah, you never get close to somebody that you're working with like that. And you don't, send somebody that's in your squad to sleep with him, right? So he's talking about how Franklin's girl, one of Franklin's girls, was sleeping with Grady as well. He's like, also, on top of that legitimate business that you're trying to get into as far as that commercial property, yeah, you're not going to be getting into that with him because, he was on board with it, but he's not on board with it anymore. So Teddy is pretty much breaking it down to Franklin how it's going to go. And that, yeah, they're going to do business again now that he's back. And yeah, Shady Grady's not going to be a part of it. And Franklin's just like, I hear you, man. I hear you. When do we start? He's like, right now. He's like, yeah, so, let me know what's going on. All right, Reed. And he calls him Reed. And Teddy's like, nah, don't call me Reed no more. Reed is no more. Call me Teddy. It's like, oh, shoot, man. So Teddy went in there and basically kind of let Franklin know, yeah, this is not legit anymore. You're going to be doing business with me the same way it used to be. So I'm like, dang, Man, Teddy, you are ruthless, bro. So that is the episode 2 recap, family. Let me know your thoughts, your theories on this one right here. It's getting a little bit more intense, We seeing a couple of people getting taken out in episode 1. Shady Grady is gone now, and things are moving forward. It's heating up a little bit, just a little bit, right? So you guys let me know your thoughts, your theories as to what you believe and what you think is going to happen in the next episode. Absolutely will be doing another recap, of course, for episode 3. And definitely look out for the promo video for episode 3 as well. So appreciate you for watching always. And again, you know what it is. It's your man, VACAY-J. And until next time, salute.